on Big Energy. Started in a small apartment with a big dream, W brings you jitter free, crash free energy with zero sugar, zero calories, and zero artificial colors and dyes. Just clean, focused, and fuel to help you be better every day. With over 15 epic custom made flavors and thousands of fans backing them, W isn't just another energy drink, it's a movement. Ready to give it a shot? We've got you. You just check the episode description for an exclusive 10% off discount just for our listeners. Fuel up with W and let's get BSing. Tonight we have a special guest. We got Dakota Faye, Helen from Minot, North Dakota. She's a seasoned musician, storyteller whose work captures raw emotions, undeniable authenticity. He's collaborated and shared the stage with renowned artists such as Bone Thugs and Harmony, Machine Gun Kelly, and Ritz. So tonight we have Dakota Faye.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the awesome intro. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, same here, man. I'm glad you come on the show. Um, I really enjoyed your most recent song. A lot of people, I'm sure, has heard that one, "Dirt Road."
Yes. I don't know. I've been doing hip hop for many, many years. So, I don't know if it's boredom or me being naive, but I wanted to try something new. And I'm a big fan of all genres of music. I always have been. And I've always wanted to kind of put my hat in the ring as far as maybe a little bit more pop, country kind of sound. So I hope I did well. It seems like it's getting a good reception. So I'm very, very lucky. Very lucky.
Oh yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I've listened to your other songs. They're on my playlist.
Yeah.
So every time I'm going to work, I got one of your tunes popping in there.
Well, I
So,
appreciate that very much.
but so North Dakota, man. I know
Yeah.
we spoke about this before the show started,
Oh, yeah.
and I've never been there before, but I'm pretty sure it's better than West Texas. No offense to our West Texaners. You actually have some grass there and no humidity.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. As long as you're here for the good 3 months of summer, maybe two and a half if we're lucky. Other than that, it is brutally cold. So, get some warm clothes, snow tires, and get ready to shovel a lot of driveway. But it's
Yeah,
beautiful. It really is.
yeah. I've heard from like them guys that go work pipeline and stuff
Oh yeah,
that it's like you can only work 15 minutes at a time and then you have to go back in.
yeah. Your hands are freezing, shaking, all types of stuff. We get a lot of people from all over the country that come up here to work, so it's kind of weird because growing up, you meet so many different kinds of different people, different cultures, different ethnicities, because everybody's up here working. So it's a little bit of a melting pot, which you wouldn't really expect anywhere where I live, in central North Dakota, close to western North Dakota. The eastern side, that's Fargo and Grand Forks. A lot of college kids, NDSU, UND for my hockey, football, and college hockey fans.
Nice. So, oh, disease. Heated driveways are cool.
Yeah, yeah. I need one of those ASAP because I am
Nah,
sick of using my. I've finally got a snowblower, so that has changed my life. Changed my life.
you don't have to break your back.
Oh boy, yeah. It's not fun. It really isn't. Make good money doing it in the winter though. Clean driveways and then mow lawns in the summer. It's like perfect for a kid,
Yeah, make a little extra cash.
for sure. Can't complain about that.
So, let's see. What was the local music scene like when you first started out?
As far as hip hop goes, it was pretty barren. I mean, I was really young when I started. So I started making music when I was 14 years old. When I was still in high school, I was in middle school actually. I might have been younger than that, but I had no idea that local musicians existed. It was kind of just the rappers that I saw on MTV or BET. It was just those guys. So I never really went out and looked for it. I You kind of hear about some bands, like that. Up here, it's a lot of country bands, country artists, cover bands, especially are the ones that are getting a lot of plays and stuff like that. But as far as rappers went, you just kind of had those older kids that you knew rapped as well. Nobody really put out music. Granted, this was back late 2000s, so people were putting music on MySpace. That was kind of the first place I ever put
MySpace.
music on. Yeah, way back in the day.
Yeah.
Primitive, putting stuff on YouTube too, but you kind of became like a high school legend when you'd put on, pass out CDs or anything like that. But I didn't really do shows until 2013 after I graduated. I was like 18, 19 years old. Finally started doing shows and finally realized there were tons of other artists in the state that really did music and stuff. So there was guys like Charlie Mizza and Kip G, Tony the Butcher. There were some older guys that when I first started doing shows kind of gave me guidance and opportunities to just play stages and do shows. And then it's kind of like opening Pandora's box because then you meet tons of different artists that have been doing it. And I would say for a good period it was thriving. I don't want to be one of those kind of cynical older guys that's like my era was the best era, but it seemed like there was a lot more music and shows camaraderie maybe. I don't think
Hmm.
that COVID helped at all, but um,
No.
I think it's still thriving. There's still tons of amazing musicians, and I just did a TikTok series last year, North Dakota Music Series, where I was highlighting four different artists from North Dakota, all genres, every week, and I did that for I think half the year. So I did like 20 something episodes. It was like 80 something musicians, and I still didn't run out. I still have a page, a big long page of artists that I need to do. So maybe I'll jumpstart that back up. But there's tons of really dope musicians if you're looking for them.
Man, 80 something and you're still rolling, huh?
Still rolling, still rolling. I still got a pretty chunky list still that I need to get through. And there's more, every month there's more, artists popping up, starting their music journey.
Yeah, man. See that I find it interesting, man, when they first start out is I'm all about helping somebody.
Right.
Most definitely. Like just like we were talking before the show, is a lot of people in certain areas don't hear y'all's music, right?
Yep.
Now, a few of us will come across it, and that's because you're putting it out there and you're continuing to put it out there. And I come across you, I would have to say maybe TikTok, all right?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that's a good song, And then I pulled you up in Spotify, and then I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to reach out to this dude,
I'm
you know.
glad you did. I'm very
But
glad you did.
I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy
Yeah.
talking to people. Man, I've talked to people all across the world, and recently, I don't want to, take any time from you, but recently, like looking back, if you go through your YouTube information, like I'm reaching people in Australia now, Australia, Africa,
Yep.
England. I was like, dang, I'm over there.
Overseas.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I love it.
Yeah, you
So
never know like how far you can reach unless you do it. Putting your stuff out there can be scary. I know for a lot of people, whether it's music, whether it's your podcast, your art, whatever it is, I think just be delusional, put it out, be consistent, and you never know. Yeah, like you said, see, I remember getting the first plays from different countries and being like, well, I must be doing something right. No better motivation than something, seeing stats like that.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely interesting when you reach that far.
Yeah, for sure. It gives you a reason to keep going.
Yeah, yeah, and I believe consistency to anyone
Yeah,
is important.
for sure.
Whether you're music, art, podcaster, stay consistent. I
Yeah,
mean, do not get discouraged of how many people listen to you or how many views you get. Just keep it up, and eventually it'll take off.
for
And
sure.
always improve something. I always believe, always that next video, improve something,
Yep.
and continue moving forward.
It's a great mindset to have with the room for improvement because you never become complacent There's always like a learning experience. You start to look at situations a lot differently, absorbing rather than, just trying to, and that goes for anything, just having a conversation with somebody you don't necessarily agree with. You can come away with that conversation learning something. I think you're in a good growing space for the future.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so you've toured most of the Midwest. Is that correct?
For sure, for sure. I've definitely branched out and I just did the Pacific Northwest last month, so Oregon, Seattle, Montana, that kind of stuff. And I've done a lot of one-off shows where I've went to Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and all these different places. But for the most part, just based on where I'm at and how easy it is to kind of route my tours and stuff. Because I still work a regular 9 to 5 too to kind of support all of this stuff going on. So you got to
Yeah.
work within the confines of your own life. And what works best for me is I'll book maybe 5 or 6 weekends in a row, and I'll go out for 2 dates, then come back for a week, work, go back out, and I'm just really focusing on my market just because it's the easiest to get to and kind of, make financially work. But I'm always down to travel. I've never been shy to make something work, to go play a show, to go rock a stage, because I think getting out on the road and meeting people, and being able to, face to face and do that, I think that's the best way to kind of grow your music and get real fans that are, that buy into who you are as a person and kind of the message and stuff that you want to get across. I think doing that live is the best way to do it. And plus, it's fun getting to travel and see new places that I've never been to, and eat delicious food and meet really cool people. That's the best part of the gig. So I really do live on the road. I think this year I'll be on 60 shows for the year, which is, I mean, more than one a week. So I've always kind of lived on that philosophy that I'll probably die in a car somewhere.
Oh, dude. 60 shows, man.
Yeah,
That's nice.
for sure. I love it. I love it. I really do. It's doing shows is a whole different thing. Releasing music and making music is awesome. It's so much fun, but performing the music for people and getting a response like live, in action is a different kind of feeling for sure.
Yeah. Um, the one thing, I'm sure the fans and, you know, the people watching,
Hmm.
um, what was it like collaborating with, Bone Thugs and Harmony? A lot of us are old school, so that's
Yeah.
got to be pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
It was honestly, so the first rap music, my mom was a big rap fan when I was a kid. So the very first rap song I ever remember was Days of Our Lives by Bone Thugs and Harmony. My mom had the Set It Off soundtrack, the movie with like Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah where they were robbing banks. She had that on cassette, that soundtrack, and they had that Bone Thugs on there. And I think that was the first rap song I ever really remember like memorizing as a kid. And it's funny because that was one of the first big shows that I ever did. They came to my hometown in Minot, maybe 6 months after I started doing shows, and we just kind of, by process of elimination, being the only like three rappers in town, I got the show and I got to play on this, at the time the biggest stage I'd ever played on. Really, it was just for my city, and really, really cool moment because Bone Thugs have always been one of my favorite rap groups of all time. How innovative they were with their, kind of fast rapping and their group style and that. But it kind of went full circle because 3 years after that, in 2016, I went on tour with Crazy Bone of Bone Thugs and Harmony. I did two different runs here up in the Midwest, and getting to like actually chat with him and talk to him about music and kind of his inspirations and kind of pick his brain a little bit. Can't tell you what that meant to the 5-year-old kid that remembered listening to that cassette with my mom. So moments like that are really some of the best moments of my career, getting that respect from other, mainstream rappers that have sold millions of records. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that had to been pretty cool, man.
It was.
That's
And I found out a really cool trick back in the day when I used to drink. he had a bottle of Hennessy on every rider, and he would always get pickle juice with it. And I was at the time I didn't really know the trick, so I learned the pickle juice chaser trick from Crazy Bone and changed my life for a few years.
Nice. Not only did you do that with, Bone Thugs and Harmony, but what about Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, that was another show early on in my career that I probably shouldn't have been on, but it just process of elimination being there. We did a Halloween show in Bismarck, North Dakota, which is the capital of North Dakota, but it was, I think to this day, still the biggest show. And it's funny because my wife is a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan, and we didn't know each other at the time, but I always hold that above her head that I got to talk to her favorite musician, have a conversation with them. So I always like to bring that up.
Hell yeah.
Another really big musician that I respect as far as trying new genres and trying new things. I know a lot of people, a lot of rap fans gave him shit after the Eminem stuff, but I really commend him for trying new stuff. And if you're really an MGK fan, you knew he was doing stuff like that long before the beef anyway. So shout out to him.
Yeah. So, what do you think about playing one of your songs? Get the people that are watching
A little
a little
taste.
acquainted with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that.
So your pick.
We might as well start off with Dirt Roads. Might as well, play the one that give you a little taste of what I've been working on lately, Maybe we can go back after that.
All right, guys. Here it is. Y'all can hear that? All right.
Dirt roads, sun rays, trying to do right for the wrong things. Made a wrong turn down a one way. I'ma treat myself right one day. Maybe down the road, when my life becomes my own, and my life becomes too dull, you'll know, hey, hey. I've been wishing myself away, trying to find a better way, trying to learn from my mistakes. I'ma take the time to say, about time fell in love with a real one. Now it feels so good when I feel some. Loving myself just feels right. Now tell me what it feels when it feel right. Dirt roads, sun rays, trying to do right for the wrong things. Made a wrong turn down a one way. I'ma treat myself right one day. Maybe down the road, when my life becomes my own, and my life becomes too dull, you'll know, hey, hey. I deserve myself, I'ma learn myself. Even if nobody wanna let me out. The fruits of wealth are the roots of self. So even when you're down, you better tell yourself, about time fell in love with a real one. Now it feels so good when I feel some. Loving myself just feels right. Now tell me what it feels when it feel right. Dirt roads, sun rays, trying to do right for the wrong things. Made a wrong turn down a one way. I'ma treat myself right one day. Maybe down the road, when my life becomes my own, and my life becomes too dull, you'll know, hey, hey.
I'm really proud of that song, man. I wrote that when I was really kind of feeling down on myself, and sometimes you just need a reminder,
Dude, that's an awesome song.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Not too bad for my first attempt at a little pop country. Might have to do it a little bit more often now.
I tell you what, certain areas you'd be surprised like it'll take off.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure. That's
just,
one of those ones I mean, I've done minimal promotion for it, and it's really done very well. So I need to put a little bit more time and effort into the promotion side of that one for sure. Maybe a music video, something like that.
I like also how you share on other platforms.
Yeah, for sure.
So Like if it wouldn't have been for, other platforms, like I would have never, heard it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I've been very surprised over the years how, especially the last couple years, like people that know me from TikTok. It's really changed my life, and I know a lot of musicians that feel the same. That platform, especially, it's so easy to go viral on it. I mean, now there's so many musicians on there. It's kind of like crabs in a bucket, but you can shine through sometimes. I've been on social media for God since the creation of whatever one I'm on, and I've never really seen a growth like I have on TikTok. I'm very lucky because, yeah, like you said, you wouldn't. People from all over the country have heard me, and they're like, "Oh, I saw you on TikTok. I follow you on TikTok." I'm like, "Thank God."
dude, so I post upcoming podcasts on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I create our banner and I put it out there, and
Right.
advertise us, both of us.
Yep.
Well, I tell you what, when I put you out there, like within a day, we had 2,000 views.
Wow.
Like, I mean, less than 24 hours, 2,000 views. I was like, okay, all right.
That's awesome. That's
I
so
was
cool.
like, man, that was moving.
Right. It
But
really is. A lot of musicians can kind of get burnt out with the side of having to be like a content creator with being a musician, which I totally understand. I mean, a lot of people just want to make their art and release it, and they don't want to have to do, you know, be a influencer, as they would say. But I've really found kind of a silver lining in it, and I've really quite enjoyed doing that side of it is more than I thought I would, making video content and coming up with ideas to kind of portray the music with visuals. It's been kind of an interesting ride. I'm not burnt out yet, so we'll see if that changes at any point.
dude, just keep it up, man, and
Right.
love what you're doing.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you love it, I mean, it never gets boring,
I
you
agree.
know? So, and you're always going to have haters.
Oh
They're
boy.
everywhere, man. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Indeed.
Yeah, you
Indeed.
got trolls, you got
Yeah.
haters. So, you know, I usually, like, I come across certain, like, I don't have, you get those one comments, you know what I'm saying, but you don't take it to heart. Just let them roll.
Right.
And I don't even respond to them.
No,
So,
I'm a deleter. If I see some negative stuff on my this is my post. I will say bye bye, goodbye. I don't
yeah.
need that in my life. A lot of people are miserable, man. They just want to be on the internet and, bring
Hate
people
on
down to
others.
their bring you down to their level. It's like, I'm up here. I'm
Yeah,
chilling.
for sure. So your music, it pulls no punches. Where does that fearless approach to the songwriting come from?
It's always been my diary. That's how it started out as. I was so quiet and introverted as a kid. My brother Eddie Mack is the one that really got me into music, and he was always louder, more brash, more confident than I was. Um, and he kind of pulled me in a direction of showing me what music could be that for me. I was very quiet and not very popular kid, and I noticed when I would rap on a mic, it would get people's attention. It kind of got that acceptance that I wanted. When I was younger, I kind of used it for that in that wrong way. Now music has turned into my own personal growth and what I can do for other people. But um, it's been it's been my diary. And I got to lay it all out there. I got to give the good and the bad because it is like a snapshot of your life. That's how I really approach music, and it's a relief. It's therapeutic. It's how I get all of the stuff off my chest. And at the end of the day, if I didn't do that, I don't feel like I would be doing my due diligence and being honest with myself or the listener. So I think there's something that someone that's a fan of me can really appreciate that and know that you really are getting a look into my life, no matter what it is, even if it's good or if it's bad.
For sure.
Yeah.
See, I watched some of your other podcasts with a few other guys,
Hmm.
and I remember you saying as a kid, you were the quiet guy, a
For sure.
quiet kid, and then you go from the quiet kid to you're singing on stage, man. So, I mean, you took that leap at some point. You decided, I'm doing that.
For sure.
So,
It was definitely a leap of faith. It's scary. I mean, to this day, I've done hundreds of shows and I still get nervous before I play. I feel like if you're not getting nervous, then the love and the passion isn't there. You should feel something. You should feel excited or anxious or a little nervous to do your best. And new things are scary. And even things that you've done a million times can be scary. But that's living. That's living life. And I'm done living with regret. I can't do it. So if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, even if it's a little hard at first.
just a shout out to a few people. I've noticed that now the comments to our chat is not coming through. So Trenton and Nicholas Moore, shout out
Oh,
to them.
my boys.
Nicholas Moore said, "Guy on the left's fire." So,
That's my buddy Rooch, man. That's my buddy Rooch. Shout out to
so
him. He's an incredible musician himself, and he's a good friend of mine.
nice.
And shout out Trenton too. He's always been a big supporter of mine. So really appreciate those guys coming through and saying what up.
Yep. But yeah, man, it's always great to have great support.
Yeah, for
But,
sure. I mean, I would have never have been to this point in my career without the support. I mean, first of all, my mother let me yell in into the closet in the next room for all those years in high school. Shout out to her. Never, yelled at me or got on my ass about it, and still comes to all my shows and listens to all my music. I'm very, very blessed to have friends and family that, still enjoy watching me rap every once in a while.
yeah, you know your mother had to have patience.
An immense amount. I don't outside of the music stuff, all just the shenanigans I got into in high school. Oh my goodness, bless that woman's heart. She was incredible.
What so which one of your songs hits the hardest for you personally?
I think so. On my album Hell Was Boring that I dropped a couple years ago, I did a song Down for Me where it's three verses. So the first one is I'll give a little preface of the whole project. It was a project that I wrote getting through my addiction and to my, reach my sobriety that I'm at right now. So a lot of the that song especially is a lot of these relationships that I had, you know, really messed up inadvertently or inadvertently or throughout my addiction, trying to mend those relationships with my brothers. And that song is about my brother Eddie Mack that I was talking about earlier that helped me start doing music. So first verse is kind of my ignorant point of view of why are my friends not around me, without knowing that it was my own self-destructive behavior that had led them to distance themselves from me. And then the second verse is Eddie's perspective, some stuff that trying to write through his perspective. And then the last one is mine, kind of self-realization, that perspective of like, you guys were always there for me, I just wasn't there myself. And I think it's not how that song started out when I first made it. It started out as kind of like that ignorant point of view. And when I wrote it, I was like, that doesn't seem right. And I kind of explored it a little bit more. And Eddie will tell you that's his favorite song from me too. And he'll tell you that I was like writing, it was exactly what he had, had on his mind. So I'm really proud of a song like that, being able to kind of go outside of myself to find a new perspective, not just in life, but in that songwriting process. And it was a really big moment for me in my, my personal growth through my sobriety. So yeah, Down for Me is one of my most proud songs that I would say when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And you don't have that one on Spotify, do you?
I do. I sure
Yeah.
do. So it's Down and then the number 4 and then me, like all one word. I was trying to be all cool and creative.
Let's see. Should be under your, Dakota Faye, right?
Yep, it's under the album Hell Was Boring, if that
Gotcha.
makes it a little bit easier to find.
Oh,
It is yeah, it's one of those songs that like it was almost tough to record. I don't say I get like choked up recording ever, because when I'm writing it, I'm kind of going through that process as I'm writing it. So by the time I record it, I'm kind of already, exhausted that emotion. But this one was one of those ones where it hit.
all right. You want to play it?
I would love that.
All right, man. Y'all get ready.
So 3 different perspectives: me, my brother Eddie Mack, and then me again.
Like, were you really down for me? When I was down bad, wanted everything they had, but I couldn't understand it wasn't fair to me. So I had to take a chance, trying to balance all the bullshit. Instead it hit the fan, I was bugging out. Most days all alone at my mother's house. Just wanted friends, so I always had to clown around. We would dream about the days when we would make it out. Well, when we make it out, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Not too fond of patiently. People say they love you, turns to narcissistic tendencies. Thought it happened naturally, guess it came sporadically. It was built up from my father that was absentee. People come, they always leave. People run, they never dream. So I'm holding on to the only thing I'll ever need. Thought you were a friend of me, turn into an enemy. Breaking down molecularly, trying to show my energy.
Well, you got your fans in the comments now.
Yes, sir.
Kyle Hendricks, a Starter
boy.
Riot. Got Faith Lee. Dakota, you're the GOAT. Love your poetry.
Like, were you really down for me? When my mother passed away, she raised your ass too, and you didn't say a thing. It was hell for me. All you thought about was fame. You was trying to make a name instead of trying to shed a pain. You was bugging out, trying to raise these fucking kids in my mother's house. We were friends and we always used to clown around. We would dream about the days when we would make it out. Well, when we make it out, I guess it wasn't meant to be. You always said eventually. Tried to trust your judgment and your narcissistic tendencies. Friendship happened naturally, lost our way sporadically. We bonded over fathers that were absentee. People come, they always leave. People run, it always seems. So I'm holding on to the 2 things I'll ever need. Thought you were a friend of me, turn into an enemy. Breaking down molecularly, trying to share my energy. Fuck. I knew that you were down for me when I was down bad. Wanted everything I had, but I couldn't understand. You were there for me, even when I took a chance. Trying to balance all the bullshit, instead I hit the fan. I was bugging out. All the music that we made at our mother's house. You would try and pick me up when I was down and out. We still speak about those days when we made it out. What if we made it out? The things we thought we never need turn into our misery. Drug addict rap with these narcissistic tendencies. Guess it happened naturally, come around sporadically. Talk about my dad, but I'm the absentee. Seems to me I always leave, always run into my dreams. Holding on to these things that I didn't need. You'll always be a friend of me, I turn into my enemy. Breaking down molecularly, trying to share my energy.
Yeah, that one means a lot, man. It means a lot to me. It's right at the end of the project where, it kind of tells this story throughout the whole album, because it's kind of funny because I wrote a lot of these songs while I was still going through my active addiction, and the album kind of wrote itself. A lot of those back end songs are when I finally got sober and I finally had a chance to really like reflect on the damage that I had made by all these bad decisions in my life. And slowly but surely I've tried to mend those relationships with the people that were there for me the whole time that I, had pushed off to the side for all these people that I partied with that I don't even talk to anymore. You know what I mean? All these people that I thought were my friends and all, and pushed a lot of people to the side, my actual friends, my actual family. And um, yeah, music is really powerful. It saved my life. Saved my life, man.
Congrats on sobriety, man.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. 2.5 years.
I tell you what, growing up, I'd done the same, like getting in trouble, had to get out.
Yeah.
And, one day I woke up and I was like, I got to get out of here, man, or something bad's going to happen. So I joined the military and, spent time in there, got my mind right, grew up,
Yeah.
come back, and, I could say no, and you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, music saved you, military saved me.
Yeah, we all have different journeys, man. It's crazy how similar we are with the issues that we have in our lives, and people take different journeys, but we all end up at the same place. We all start and end up at the same place. I feel like.
Yeah. I love the music, man. I love
Thank
it.
you, thank you. Not every
So,
song that I make has to mean, have this deep meaning. Sometimes I just like to rap and get bars off and have a good time too. So I've always been try to pride myself on having variety. I'm very like ADHD, ADD in that sense that like I can't just make the same thing all the time. I like to try new stuff, try new sounds. I know a lot of, established musicians will be like, you got to find your lane, you got to do that. I'm like, man, I'll make whatever I want. And I think a lot of my fans and people that like my music appreciate that about it.
yeah. So we spoke about, what song is, hits the hardest for you personally.
Right.
So what's your favorite bar or line you've ever written? Would it be in that song, or is it another
Oh
song?
man, my favorite bar I've ever written. Oh my God, dude. I've written so many goddamn songs. So many bar. I'm trying to think of like a singular bar that I really, really love. Oh my goodness.
I just
Oh,
threw the wrench in there.
dude, that's such a great question because I would love to actually go back and be like, okay, what is my favorite bar that I've ever written? Oh my goodness. I had a really good I had a really good bar about the like Patriots deflate gate one time. That was one of I like flipped it. I forget how it went, but it was like, oh my God, dude, that was one of my favorite bars. Now I'm like, I gotta remember all these bars. It's okay, so it's only when you ball is when they seem to come around. When your moment gets deflated, they'll bill a check you out of town. That's one of my favorite bars. There we go. I remembered that one. I'm a big sports guy, so I always like to throw in random sports stuff too.
Oh, Cal Hendricks,
Yeah.
wet floor sign.
Cal is an incredible musician in his own right. Big Green. I just on his last project too. He's an incredible artist. So thank you, Cal. I appreciate that.
My brother popped in here too. Song is fire from earlier.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Travis Larson, love Dakota's music, bro. It's going places for sure.
Hey, I'm trying to. I'm trying to go somewhere warmer. That's where I'm trying to go.
Warmer during the winter, huh?
Yes,
And,
yeah, yeah.
and
I need a snowbird is what they call us in Arizona. It's like the old people that go and spend the winters in Arizona.
yeah.
Trying to be a snowbird.
Well, I got a buddy of mine. He's from Arizona.
Yeah.
But anyway, also, your song, maybe it'll get you away from that 9 to 5, and you can
Ah,
do more of what you love.
yes, yes. Dang right. I'm hoping. I'm on a good trajectory. I'm at, I spent many years driving many miles for no money, losing money. And I don't know if I'll ever get out of the red for all the money that I've invested into music, but I think I'm on a good pace now. I'm starting to um, make it consistent. My wife getting on my ass about it too helps too. She keeps me straight. She's like my manager, my finance manager, all of that. So she's helping me get what I'm worth. I'm starting to, feel like I can as for, booking fees and feature fees and all that, not really feel. I used to feel bad about it. I'm very like a big empath, and I blame my mother for that. God, she is one of the most caring, kind-hearted people in the world, and sometimes I want to look after other artists too. So if somebody hits me up for a song and they ain't got no money or nothing like that, I'm like, just send it through. I just like writing and making music, and sometimes that can bite me in the ass as far as my finances go. But I'm trying to be better at that. So,
Yeah.
I'll be getting rid of that 9 to 5 here soon.
I hope you do, man.
Well,
I look
thank you.
forward to seeing you touring around.
Oh yeah,
You know,
like I was saying earlier, man, I love being on the road. So
you're definitely going to have to make it back down to Louisiana, though,
dang right I
so I can
am.
come see you.
Absolutely. Well, I'll make that a point now. I need to come back there for the crawfish boil and all that. I
Oh,
need
yeah.
some good food in my life. We don't have no. I'm 1,000 miles away from any sort of ocean, so I need it in my life.
I'll make sure you get some good food, dude.
All right, cool.
That's no problem.
Bet. I'm gonna
But,
count on it.
oh, yeah. That's going to be amazing. It would definitely be amazing feeling, once you get that. Here's my touring list. I'm going to be
Yeah.
all these places. That's got to be one of the greatest feelings.
It really
Yeah.
is. I mean, on a smaller scale, I've been booking. I'm my own booking. I'm everything. I'm an independent artist, so I'm a manager. My booking agent. I'm a marketing. I'm a publicist. All this stuff, and so I've been booking my own tours the past few runs, and they've been getting easier and easier. They used to be hard hitting venues up or hitting other promoters or whatever, and kind of filling dates, but they're starting to get easier and easier. And
Mhm.
I'm playing these cities that I've never played before, and there's people, even if it's 10 people that are fans of mine and they're excited to come to these shows. And, I'm playing in Missoula, Montana, and I got people coming from, this, that, and the third to come see me. And it's a really cool feeling. I never thought, being that 14-year-old kid in my mom's closet recording music that people would ever give a single care about what I do, or being able to talk to somebody like you and get to share my music. And it's the best feeling in the world. Really is.
Dude, not only that is when you go out and you have those fans, you also create more fans.
Yeah,
You know,
for
you
sure.
know you're going to pick some up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. There's some random people at the bar you're playing, and they're like, "I didn't know you were gonna rap tonight, but I really liked your music." And they end up buying a T-shirt, and we chit chat, and you get new fans. That's why I'm saying being on the road and that kind of face to face, it's the best marketing you can get.
oh, Blake said, "What's good, Dakota? Hope all is well, man. Bless up and take care. Keep inspiring others with your voice and music."
Well, thank you, Blake. I appreciate you, dog. You always support me, bro. Appreciate you.
Dallas Hanson,
Yep.
what up, fam?
Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? I was just on his podcast too. He has the swimming lessons podcast. Awesome guy. Does a lot of sports related interviews too. But I have some of the best friends in the world. Very talented people that support me. To this day. So I'm very lucky to have everybody here checking us out.
Yeah, man. It's always good. Um, so tell us something. You're driving along. Do you listen to your own music?
I would be lying if I said I didn't. Is it all I listen to? No, but especially if I'm like working on a new project, I'm listening to it, from like a what can I change about the mix kind of standpoint rather than like a pleasure like listen to.
Hmm.
There is times where I do go back and listen to my old projects just to kind of see where I was at, as far as like mind state or like what I was doing back then, not to imitate, but kind of learn. The room for improvement slogan, as we've been saying. But I am a huge fan of all music of very much. You hit my phone on shuffle, and you're gonna hear a little bit of everything. To be honest with you, so I would be lying if I said I didn't listen to it a little bit from time to time. But I gotta be a fan of my. If I'm not a fan of my music, how can I expect anybody else to be a fan? You know?
Of course, man. Of course. I'm gonna tell you, I listen to my podcast like I'll be listening to this tomorrow
Yeah.
just to see what I need to, you know, what can I do better next time?
Right.
You know, that's what, like we were talking about that improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make at least one improvement every video.
It's like watching game film, you know, sports. You're like, gotta go back and watch the
Replay.
tape. Yeah, rewind it. All right, now you see this chop block right here. We gotta get that. Yeah.
And I got some buddies of mine like Disease up there,
Mm-hmm.
our producer's Disease, and he doesn't mind critiquing me. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know.
Good. Good. You need friends like that.
He's straight up and honest, and I'm like, okay, I got to do that better,
Yeah,
So, and everybody needs something like that,
for
They don't
sure.
they don't need them trolls, but they
No.
need somebody to corrective criticism,
Yeah. Honesty is the best policy, especially for your friends and stuff, because you don't. I would rather have that than somebody just always telling me like, "Oh yeah, I love it, I love it, I love it," without being able to be like, "Yeah, but I think you could have did this better."
hmm So, you ever hear an old track and you're like, damn, I've come a long way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just showing my buddy of mine my first song that I ever made, because I come from an era where a lot of that stuff still exists. So you can listen to my very first song that I ever did, and you listen to it and you appreciate it, because even any older music that I made in high school or even 5 years ago, at that time when I made it, I thought that was the best song of all time. There was a point in my life where I thought every single song that I had made was the best song, and it's never going to get better than this. And you listen back 10 years later and you're like, boy, did it get better than that.
God.
But it's nice to kind of reflect and look back on those fun times, because those are some of the most fun times that I could I listened to an old song that I made 10, 15 years ago, and I could almost smell the room that I was in. I can feel like exactly what we were doing that day, or like, and those are my favorite memories, hanging out with my friends and making music that we thought was going to make us millions of dollars.
It's definitely educating, man, because I
Yeah.
could tell you, I like I scroll and I'll see my very first podcast, and I'm like, I've definitely come a long way. But then that goes to show you each video has progressed, or
Yeah.
like I said, I try to make something better every time, and you
Right.
could see it. You can see it, and I don't want to get full of myself, but
No, go ahead.
I just can, just like you, man. Just you continue, you listen to your stuff, you critique it,
Yeah.
your friends will critique it, and then you're like, oh, I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm gonna work on that next time. I love it. I
It's
love
a
it.
great it's great to be able to kind of have that, like, the picture of the evolution where it starts out at the little guy and turns into the big guy. That's what it is, doing being able to kind of look back along your journey and kind of see how much you've really progressed, because some days when you're I'm sure, as like, you're like, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not, I'm but you look back along your journey and you're like, holy crap, I'm so much farther than I was. You don't even sometimes appreciate those inches. Sometimes you want these miles, these
Yeah,
milestones, without appreciating all the inches that got you from point A to point B.
yeah, for sure. And you know, you learn, as you go too, man. You
Big
learn
time.
what not to do. You learn what not to say.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's always interesting. And
Yeah.
the one thing I love talking to people
Yeah.
and meeting new people, man. And especially artists like yourself. You know, I like to I want to hear the story as you progress from coming up, and the the one thing that in the past artists that I've interviewed, you all have in common, you haven't quit. You continue to put out music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure. So, shout out to Zach Riffle. He he told me one time. He said, "Man, I had a hard drive full of music." And I was kind of, I didn't want to put it out. But then he made that leap and he started putting it out. And then that one song caught people. And then he just started, you know, putting out music. And, you leave that comfort zone. And man, you don't realize something that you don't like, other people love, so, and, I shout out to all upcoming musicians, man. Don't be scared to put out your music. You're not going to make everyone happy, so,
Sometimes we're our own worst enemy, you know. The only thing that's stopping us from getting somewhere is usually ourselves. So if you can, overcome that, you can do anything that you set your mind to, and it's the most cliche saying out there, but it is damn true. It is very damn true.
yeah. So, is there a beat that you passed on that you regret? Like you probably should have played that, or you should have done that.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I didn't know that I would ever be in the position where I would like turn down beats before, but there's been a couple times where I've turned down a beat from a producer like in a pack, some producers will send you like a pack of like 10 beats and you're like, "Oh, I like this one." It's very like in the moment, you don't really get a chance to like digest it. You're just like kind of skipping through them and you're like, "Oh, I like this one." And then like 6 months later you hear a different artist on that beat and you're like, "Oh, wow, maybe I should have kept that one." But it's really interesting to see like one musician's take on a beat, especially in the rap genre because for the most part we're just getting production that's made, already done. And then you hear different artists' perspective on it and you're like it's like two different songs. It's really cool to see how different people process and write music and kind of get to that end product because for me that's my favorite part is kind of I would call my style chameleon style because I don't make beats myself. I've been lucky enough to work with incredible producers over the past 15 years, but I always like to take their idea and kind of mold around it and kind of get inspiration from them. So yeah, there's a
Nice.
lot of damn beats that I wish I didn't pass up on.
No. Yeah, there's always one thing that we always end up regretting, man.
For
There
sure.
are a few things. Well,
Yeah,
a
oh
few
yeah.
things.
Indeed.
Um, Now I don't want to go back in time, but I do want to ask you one thing about
Yeah.
what advice would you give to other artists who were trying to stay focused while fighting their own battles? Like say sobriety or what's one thing? I know everyone's different. Everyone has that one. We're not all the same when it comes to certain, mm, you know, addictions. But what is that one thing that helped you that maybe would help someone else?
Mm. I would say I would say do just get a little bit better like we've been talking about. It's sometimes you get up and you don't want to do something or you don't want to write a song or you don't want to just start. Just start because breaking that initial of like just putting a pen to paper or like playing that beat or whatever it is can soon you're like, "Oh, I don't want to, whatever." You put it on and you just start. Next thing you know, you're done. Um I would think it's just that initial like breaking those habits. You have to break those habits, and it is very it's hard because it is really like rewiring your brain to think a completely different way, and that goes with like addiction or writer's block or whatever the case is. It's you got to break those habits, and sometimes you really got to change the environment that you're in, whether it's physical environment like the people that you're hanging out with or the places that you're going, or it's your mental you know and breaking those habits of like, you know, just the way that you go your day-to-day business and how you handle different situations. So I think it's just that initial getting over that initial hump. You could, it's like, you know, you think that this mountain's really big and you get over the little first hump and then it's smooth sailing from there, and you wouldn't see that grass is greener on the other side if you didn't start. So just start, just do a little bit, even if it's small, because like we were talking about earlier, those little inches, those turn into miles. Don't think that you have to make these leaps and bounds, you know, every little thing that you do. Sometimes it is just, you know, maybe you write one or two lines for a song or whatever, then the next day, you know, it happens to me a lot where I'll just like, I can't sleep, like suddenly an idea that I had no idea how I was going to finish, boom, it hits you like a ton of bricks and you're like, oh my God, and everything makes sense. So just take those little steps. Don't be afraid to appreciate the inches.
Sound words, man. Sound
Yeah.
words. I definitely agree with what you said about your environment. So
Yeah.
your surroundings, if you're fighting with addiction, I believe that if you're in that same surrounding that you were having an addiction with, I agree. Change your surroundings, you know?
It's not
Um,
easy. It's not easy,
no,
but it is necessary. It really is.
yeah. That's like if I would have never left
Yeah,
for
for
the
sure.
military,
Yeah.
you know, I could have been dead or I could have been in
Right.
prison. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You know, you never know where that road would have led you.
No.
You know, I love the fact that I decided to get out, you know, and a lot of people didn't know why. Like my family were like, man, you're joining the military, but I never would tell them, you know, never would tell them why I'm getting out of here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So um, it was just that time. It was my time to leave, get up and go. So,
I
and I
feel
don't,
that.
I don't regret it, man.
No,
So,
no, you got to make decisions for your own life. So many people will try to keep you, you know, keep you trapped with them, especially where I'm from. It's, you know, a very small town like that. You see a lot of people never leave, never get out. And it's not necessarily like you have to get out of the town, but you got to get out of the mindset of the town, you know?
yeah. So going back to collaboration, Riz. So you collaborated with Riz?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ritz,
Ritz.
like the cracker.
Okay.
He's a
Ritz.
yeah. I got so I did a few shows with him actually too. Really cool dude. An artist again that I've listened to for probably 10 years. And then I got a chance to be on the same song with him. Our artist from North Dakota, MIC, had a track and he featured both of us on it, and it was a really cool moment. Like kind of one of those moments where, you know, working with an artist that again I grew up, you know, listening to on a playlist, and then being able to talk with him in person and, you know, follow each other on social media. It's really just those lethargic moments of like, those are the moments where you're like, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm doing the right thing. Because hip hop, especially, it's all about respect, you know, for your craft and your originality, and getting, you know, props from an artist that you respect highly means the world. It really does. So another really cool moment of my career, getting to work with an artist with prestige like Ritz has, you know, being, you know, had been signed to Strange Music with Tech Nine, and you know, done songs with Yellow Wolf and projects with all these incredible artists. So just to feel like I'm even close to the same level as a guy like that, it's a big ego boost for sure.
Yeah, that dude, that has to be cool.
Yeah,
It has
absolutely, for
to
sure.
be. Yeah, that man, Bone Thugs, Machine Gun Kelly, and Ritz.
Yeah, the list keeps getting longer, man. I've been very
Pretty,
lucky.
pretty soon, dude, you'll be right next to Jelly Roll.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He's
Ah,
coming. He's coming up here for the North Dakota State Fair again, and I'm really
oh,
hopefully I
there
get
you
to see him
go.
this time. I missed
There
him
you go,
last time,
dude.
so
Hey,
I'm a really big advocate for what he does. He came, so he played 2 years ago at the North Dakota State Fair, but you know he's all about going and being a part of the community of the places that he plays at. So he went to the Boys and Girls Ranch, which is a place for like disadvantaged youth here, and went and talked to those people. And he's a big inspiration. I really appreciate the just what he does with his platform and how he uses his voice and for the betterment of other people. He's a really good dude.
Yeah, man. Hey, dude, maybe try to open for him.
I know. I've been trying. I've been really laying the seeds here, so we'll see.
I'll be watching. I'll be looking for you.
Well, thank you very
That'll be
much.
cool as hell, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then, the great thing about that though is that so many people watch you, and
Yeah.
then you get to open. So many people around the world know you now.
Oh, for sure. Those are
You know?
really big moments of like getting put into, in front of so many people that have never, otherwise probably never listened to you.
Well, I wouldn't. Just like we were talking earlier,
Hmm.
demographics, your
Yeah.
music. Like, say, I don't know what it is, man. Algorithms,
Yeah.
because you say you're Midwest, right?
Yep.
Your music would stay there, right?
Hmm.
With the occasional outside, all right.
Right.
Um, Good thing for TikTok though,
Yeah.
you have
Shout out.
reached a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, man, it's crazy how the algorithms go,
It
and
really is.
you could be playing music 10 years, and somebody finally say, I wouldn't say Florida because I'm sure they heard of you in Florida. I'd say West Virginia, and we're
Right.
going. Um, they'll be like, "What? Who is this?" And then they listen to your music, and then, uh-oh, now it's sitting there, people sharing your music over there.
Yep. Yep.
Um, but you never know how the algorithms are going to play out, and
No.
sometimes it's not in our favor. But
Certainly not. Posted a lot of videos where you're like, why is this? I worked so hard on this to get 100 views. Like, what is going on? And then some stupid one that I made gets 10,000, and you're like, okay, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know what the hell is going on.
yeah, like what the hell did I do to that one? Then
Yeah. But you just try to you just post every day. Just be consistent. That's the biggest thing with social media with anything. Just being consistent. You never know
dude,
which one is gonna be the one.
dude, I wish YouTube was like when we were doing not MySpace.
Yeah.
Back when YouTube was about that same era,
Yeah.
dude, we could post anything and it'd be like poof,
Yep.
blew up. Now
Yep.
they police that thing so hard.
For sure. For sure.
But so, do you prefer to work solo, or do you enjoy the collaboration?
I love collaborating. I'm not big on collaborating in person because I've always this room that I'm in, this is my studio. This is where I record. And like I said, when I started when I was 13, 14, same thing. In my room, recording by myself. Very introverted person. It's not that I don't like recording with people, from time to time it can get done, but I just feel like my best when I can just be free in here on my own time. I feel like I make my best stuff. So collaborating is cool with other artists when they're on that. And nowadays, just with how, um, equipment is and everything, a lot of people are the same as me. They record at their houses. So it's really easy to kind of send stuff back and forth, that way. I've worked with a lot of artists that I've never actually met in person. So that's really cool to be able to kind of have that ability to do that. But yeah, I'm a hermit, so I would like to stay in my hole and put music out that way. But I love to make music with other people.
Good thing for technology, man. Like
Indeed.
we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure, for
Which
sure.
is pretty cool because
Oh, dude, insane.
you could talk to anybody in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Really, really great news for us, homebodies. Very excellent. Technology has really allowed me to be the true couch potato that I truly was born to be.
well, not only that. So you work a full-time job,
Yeah, oh yeah.
so it's kind of hard to get out there. Sometimes.
Indeed. Yeah.
So,
And I'm not, I work 8 hours a day and then, I got to balance my, my friendships, my marriage, all of this stuff and still make music. I'm not trying to go do stuff. I'm trying to, chill out and relax. And so yeah, technology has definitely allowed me to make things happen because, yeah, it was a lot more hard back in the day when you actually had to go places and go do stuff like that. So good and bad.
here you
Need a song about couch potato? Yeah.
go.
I'll get on that right after this. I'm writing that. I got you. I got you, bro. Definitely. Definitely doing that.
So, being named 2024 Best Performer by Minot Daily,
Yeah.
what did that moment mean to you?
Again, really awesome. Really awesome to be recognized by my city. I was just featured on the news here last month as well. Just
I've
getting
seen
that
that.
love, getting that recognition from a place that I hold so dear because, I people, I might talk trash about it from time to time, but I'm the only one allowed to talk trash about my hometown. It's my beautiful place. And I always hold it to a high regard. It's where I grew up. It's where I learned how to ride a bike. It's where I, fell in love. It's where I got my heart broken. It's the first places that I ever played shows. And I hold it really dear. So to finally get that recognition and kind of feel like I'm a good part of our community. For a long time, I felt like I was just kind of like that rapper guy that, people were like, "Oh, Dakota's still rapping," But finally getting that kind of recognition for my city is not something that I needed, but something that I wanted, and I'm glad that I could be recognized like that. It means a lot to the 14-year-old kid that just wanted to be accepted.
Um, you got a shout out, Robert Dwayne Upton.
My dog. What up? What up, Robert? Appreciate you popping in. Means a lot.
So, what's next for Dakota Faye? New music? I know you
Yeah.
said you had 60 shows
Oh
coming
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
So it's just it never ending grind and a grind that I'm well equipped for. I've been doing it for, over a decade now and it's keeps me going. I got a thing that I can put my energy to and be passionate about and get a response back from. So why would I quit now? So I'm constantly working on music. I've already dropped 2 albums this year. I'm already almost done with the third. I'm working on a collab project with an artist from my hometown, Hui, who I really respect. He's an incredibly talented. He's 8 years younger than me. These incredibly talented artists just keep getting younger and younger, and I'm like, feel like I'm gonna get phased out here soon. So I'm really appreciated to be collaborate with artists that are kind of keeping my creative juices flowing, and then yeah, shows for the rest of the summer. I'm planning out. I'm already booking my tour for the fall, so it's just I'm working. I'm working. New music, new shows. You'll you ain't heard the last of me yet. I promise you that.
so, what's your most southern tour going to be?
Well,
Trying to see how far I got to
I gotta
travel.
go. I gotta go to Louisiana, but I did book, so I'll be in St. Louis
St.
and
Louis.
Kansas City. Yeah, so not
Not
too
too
far.
bad.
I
Not
know.
too bad.
I need to get to Atlanta and Florida and Louisiana and all that. So um, hopefully I'll be there soon. I know I am gonna try to get to South by Southwest next year in Austin. So I know that's a little bit closer. So hopefully I can make my way down to Austin, Texas.
Nice. Yeah, man. It's when you get out there and you make them southern states. Now, Missouri's not too bad for me,
Right.
but you get a little closer though. I'll be all. You'll see me.
Yes. Bet. Yeah, and definitely not gonna book it in the summer because I'm
Oh,
not dealing with that humidity.
killer over here, man. Killer.
I'll do it
Uh,
in the winter months. I can escape my frozen wasteland and come down to a little bit cooler weather.
yeah. So, um, what does success look like to you now versus 5 years ago?
it would have been, 5 years ago, it would have been, numbers. It would have been how many streams am I getting or how many people are at my shows. And nowadays it's how many people's lives can I impact in a positive way, and finding that purpose within not just myself, through my sobriety, but my music. That's really given me a new perspective on what success is. Because if there's even one person that, has, of a lot of people that have told me that their music has helped me or helped them get through a hard time, that's success. That's like, you can never quit. I just had a moment 2 weeks ago. I played a show in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I played this song called Wishes. That's, I wrote during the middle of my addiction, and it helped me get through all of that. And it's always like this touching moment in my set where, I talk about my sobriety, and I could have been one of the people that, lost themselves along the way. And it's a really kind of an emotional song. And this lady in the front row, halfway through the song, handed me an obituary of a loved one that had passed away. And, I held it in the air and sang that song. And it was a really like crazy, like almost out of body experience of like this, what I'm doing means something. Sometimes it's hard to kind of see the purpose of, sometimes it is self-indulgent. I'm not gonna lie, being a rapper, being a musician, it is ego boosting, but kind of having that other outlet of touching other people, that's success to me now.
Good one. So you said the song was Wishes?
Yeah, Wishes. That was the name of the song. I got a really cool music video for it if you want to watch that.
Let's do it, dude.
I got a really good one.
Let's do it.
My buddy Charlie Mizza is the one that shot the music video. It's shot it in Badlands in North Dakota. It's one of the only places that like you wouldn't believe it's in North Dakota. Oh, yeah, shout out, by the way, Cal Hendricks, who's in the chat, is on this song. He did the hook. Big Green, he did the hook.
He said
on
never
Wishes.
heard it.
Yeah, exactly. I know. As soon as I looked down, I was like, you little shit.
Diseases comments.
Okay. Here, let's see if I can freaking share this thing. Okay.
If you do share a window, just make sure to check the audio.
Do I got it? Is it working?
Yeah, I see it.
All right. This is Wishes. I'm going to play it. Shout out Charlie Mizza with the beautiful music video. This is one of my favorite music videos.
Hey, sometimes I wish the songs would write themselves. Wish this weight would weigh on someone else. Wish these drugs were better for my health. Hey, wish I fell in love with someone else. Now I can't change all these things I wish I didn't need. Life is life, things just happen, you should let it be. Be at peace inside yourself and try to let it go. Advice that I could tell my friends but couldn't follow home. Yeah, I wish my father loved me. Wish my father loved my mom. Wish my father would just talk to me. Instead I'm writing songs, trying to capture all these moments so this feeling lasted longer. Yeah, I wish that I was stronger. See, now Genie, give me one more wish. You can cast me into hell if you just give me this. I'll repent and give my wishes up to someone else. Yeah, I just wish I loved my fucking self. Yeah. But there ain't no one here, baby. Only one left is you. Waking all these wishes, hoping one of them come true. But there ain't no one here, baby. The only one is you. Making all these wishes, hoping one of them come true. Come true, come true, come true. Hey, look, I wish you loved me like you say you do. Wish you told me it was coming true. Said you left him and you're leaving too. Shit. I wish I could believe in you. But see, I cheated on a woman who deserved better. Kept cutting ties with the trust until her heart severed. I would write my pain in songs instead of love letters. So who's to say I wouldn't do the same if we're together? Hey, but see, I trust you if you trust me. Wish our past could be erased. Wish I was your first kiss. And I wish you felt the same. I hope you learn to love yourself, girl. Honestly, you're great. Clear your eyes, pretty girl. I'm easily replaced. See, now Genie, give me one more wish. You can cast me into hell if you just give me this. I'll repent and give my wishes up to someone else. I wish you fell in love with someone else. Yeah. But there ain't no one here, baby. Only one left is you. Making all these wishes, hoping one of them come true. But there ain't no one here, baby. The only one is you. Making all these wishes, hoping one of them come true. Come true, come true, come true.
Burying them regrets.
That's one of my favorite music videos right there.
Dude, the scenery was beautiful.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
wouldn't
North
think-
Dakota?
That's what I'm saying. That's like the one spot in North Dakota where you wouldn't believe that it's North Dakota. But yeah, that's the Badlands. It's beautiful, beautiful area in North Dakota.
Hey, I want to go live there.
Yeah, you are going to be in for a rude awakening if you come here expecting that.
But yeah,
That's about as hilly as we get.
So you used a drone to capture the footage?
Yeah, Charlie. He did drone for a lot of those shots, and then he did some handheld stuff. But that was really cool. We shot that in just a couple hours. I wore all black for some reason because I don't know if I was just trying to go for like this Grim Reaper kind of look. It was hot as shit that day. It was one of those very odd like 100-degree days. Sweating my ass off, but it was a great time. He really helped me, put in the visually of, kind of burying those regrets and moving on from a lot of those things that hold you back, keep you up
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah, man, that video, man, that's I haven't seen that video. It was good.
It's a
You know,
hidden
no,
gem
I'm
right
not
there.
saying this just to say it.
No,
I
well,
actually,
thank you.
I enjoy the music, and
Thank
that video, it was good.
Thank you very much. He did an incredible job. That's definitely one of my, high quality production music videos.
Dude, I simply I love just finding new music. You know what I'm saying? Because you hear it, so the songs that you put out, you can tell
Right.
you lived it, and then you're hearing it, and
Right.
you're letting other people hear it. So,
I feel like it's easier to get attached to those kind of artists that you can feel like are really like speaking to you or are very believable because it is the truth,
yeah, it's definitely tough. The music industry's tough.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of people, the ones that come from the heart and live it, it spreads like wildfire.
Yep.
Now, on top of that, what's something about the music industry you wish more people knew?
It's not as glamour, it's a lot of driving in a car and sleeping in shitty hotels and eating gas station food. That's like what it is. That's the reality. And it is a passion project for the most part. There's some bands out there that make decent money and musicians that make decent money, but for the most part, like you're not, it may take many, many years for you to get to a point where you can actually live comfortably doing music. It's a lot of sacrifice. You miss a lot of birthdays, a lot of get-togethers, a lot of things like that because you're on the road and you're trying to, get your music out there and get your message out there. So it's not as glamorous as what social media would lead you to believe. We only put, for the most part, musicians put their best moments on social media, but you don't really see a lot of the other
Struggle.
stuff that it takes. Yeah, it's not saying that it's all bad because it's not. It's just it's a lot of sacrifice for your free time, for all of that stuff. So it is it's a tough gig, and I feel anybody that takes on this career choice it is a little bit delusional in the best way possible.
So, for those of our listeners and viewers, you ever go to a concert, support your artists.
Hmm.
You see Dakota Faye, go buy a T-shirt, go
Yeah.
help them, support them. You know, um, they do a lot of traveling, as you hear. You know, they help support them. If you love their music,
Go have a conversation with them. That
yes.
means even if you're not buying nothing, if you come chat with me and tell me that you like my music or just ask about, how's the tour going, how's the show, like that stuff keeps you going. Just having those awesome conversations with new people. I live for that kind of stuff. And I know a lot of other musicians do too.
Most definitely. So, what's the weirdest place you've ever stayed while on tour? Speaking of traveling.
I was on tour probably. I know it as soon as you said it, I knew exactly what it was because will never forget it. But I was on tour one time, and this is back in my drinking days. So it was after a show. I drank a little bit, and we went and stayed with a mutual friend of like all of our. We was a group of us, a bunch of different artists. We were all on tour together, packing into a car. But we stayed with a mutual friend of all of ours that didn't necessarily live in the kind of the most hygienic place. And I was pretty drunk and stumbling into the house, and I was just looking for a bed. I just wanted to sleep. And I ended up waking up the next morning in this very grungy, like college frat kind of house on like this bed with no sheets on it, stain all on the mattress. And like it was like one of those slow, like you kind of like you wake up and you look around and you're like, oh my God, realizing what random mess you had just slept in. And I don't think I've ever scrubbed my body harder during a shower than after that night.
It's a good thing you didn't have a black light,
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Oh my goodness, I
Dude.
couldn't even imagine. But there's plenty of those kind of stories where I played like a festival in Montana like 10 years ago, and it was just out in the hills. And I ended up sleeping on like this couch that was just out there, and I ended up getting scabies from it. So for the
Mm.
next like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I had to like rub lotion on my body and like quarantine myself. I had to throw my mattress away. Oh my God, just for the love of music. So I've definitely stayed in some questionable places, questionable hotels, you know, this, that, and the third, everywhere you can think of.
Hell yeah, man. That's pretty wild, though. Yeah, scabies. Mm.
It was funny because I gave it to my girlfriend at the time, and then
Ah,
also and
it's
then
crazy.
also gave it to my roommates. So I got rid of them, gave them to my roommates, who then gave it back to me, and then I had to get rid of them a second time. So, yeah, if you've never had bugs crawling in your skin, I would not recommend it. It was horrible.
That stuff's
Horrible.
contagious.
Yes, extremely contagious. It was horrible. Luckily, no scabies since then. So, 10 years clean from the
10 years
scabies. Celebrated my anniversary like a couple weeks ago. That was like 10 years ago. So, yeah, definitely played in. I've been everywhere.
So you got any pre-show rituals or superstitions?
I don't. I do know a lot of artists that are that way, that have to have a certain thing or this or that. And it's funny because I was a really big baseball player in high school. So I had a lot of superstitions when it came to baseball, but when it comes to music, like pre-game stuff, not really. I like to be alone. I like to like kind of lock in, like I'll go outside and kind of take a second to, it's like I don't know if you've ever seen the Dewey Cox movie with John C.
Yeah.
Riley, but it's like he's got to think about his entire life before he plays the show. It's like one of those moments where I have to like, it's not as like dramatic as that, but it's like kind of just
You
reflecting
don't want
and
none of
being,
this.
yeah, you don't want none of this, Dewey. It's the cheapest drug there is. But I like to sometimes reflect on like where I'm at and how I got there and kind of clear my mind, because again, own worst enemy. I can get in my head so quickly about stuff, and it can really throw me off. So I like to kind of lock in and get in the right mind state, and sometimes that's being alone.
So when touring, was there one city that you had an unexpected love? Like you played and
Yeah.
and you wouldn't think that you were going to get the turnout that you did?
For sure, Sioux City, Iowa. And it's that big ass poster right there. They made these big at the venue that I played at. They treated me like royalty. And every time I go down there, shout out to my boy Rev, who always looks out for me and gets me these shows. Sioux City, Iowa has really turned into like this home away from home for me. And it's funny because Omaha, Nebraska, right next to Sioux City, Iowa, those two places, it really feels like a home away from home. I really feel the love there, and love, love, love playing those two cities. And never thought I would. Never thought I would.
Shout out to Exclusive 47.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just someone I met in Omaha, Nebraska. Incredible photographer, videographer. Shout out to him.
It's crazy the people that you meet, man, just
Yeah.
on the road.
I mean, 90% of these people that have been commenting in the chat are the people that I've met along in my musical journey. So, lucky, lucky guy.
I did get a message, well, not on here, but from my phone. Remember I told you that you was going to have at least one wants you to freestyle. He was unable to make it on.
Well, see, it didn't. Now I don't have to. I'm good. I escaped.
Yeah,
We'll have to make that next time I come on. We'll make it a thing, and I'll do some sort of like a, radio freestyle. We'll do something cool. Put on some beats or something like that.
Hell yeah, man. So, do fans ever say something wild to you, like after the show? I mean, what's the craziest thing? After a show, they come up and say,
there's people mean well, but they don't realize it's like almost like a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, you're a really good rapper. Really good rapper for being from North Dakota or something like that. Oh, you remind me of this artist. Like, oh, not as good, but you're you're getting there or something like that. And people mean well, and I don't really try. You take stuff like that with a grain of salt. But I think sometimes alcohol can be involved. Sometimes people get a little more open, a little more blatant with what they're saying to you. But I know most people mean well, and even if they say something, you can't really take it too much to heart, because if you do that, then you'll just be in a pit of despair for the rest of your life. But definitely heard some off the wall stuff where you're like, I don't think that's how you wanted it to come across at all.
I could about imagine
Yeah, for sure.
slurring and
Oh
yeah.
yeah, indeed, indeed. Really close up, like just hot breath. You're like, okay, take a step back, buddy.
So we have a viewer that wants to hear just came in and wants to hear one of your songs. You got a recommendation?
I would say let's do same old love songs. I seen somebody post that was their favorite in the comments earlier. So, same old love songs. I feel like that's a really good. It's the intro to my album Uninvited Guests that I dropped earlier this year. I feel like it's a really good blend of my more melodic like singing hook with the really hard hitting rap verses. Um, I always feel like my music is a lot of reminiscing, and this is one of those songs where I'm reminiscing over you know past times. So I love this song, and it's a great intro. I feel like it really captures the album.
Hell yeah. Let's let her eat.
Falling fast, don't leave me like I said so. I've been high this week, but I've been damn low. Pick me off my feet just like a Dow Zone. Cried enough to sleep, now my friends gone. So damn sick of the same old love song. So damn sick of the same old trust songs. I came back to change, I've been so wrong. I've been stuck in my ways, so can we bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on. Summertime is 2009. Eddie's mama let the chicken fry. Spare time, we was writing rhymes. Really thinking we was on the rise. Out of dough, never out of line. That's a lie, maybe sometimes. Not surprised, another homie died. First time I was 25. 29, finally think it's mine. Got determination, now I gotta grind. Look inside, yeah, I had to find what is self-worth. Now I gotta climb. Peace of mind is where I reside. I was fine, really I denied. They offered help, sadly I declined. Life and times of the foolish pride. Falling fast, don't leave me like I said so. I've been high this week, but I've been damn low. Pick me off my feet just like a Dow Zone. Cried enough to sleep, now my friends gone. So damn sick of the same old love song. So damn sick of the same old trust songs. I came back to change, I've been so wrong. I've been stuck in my ways, so can we bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on. I can't die inside a dive bar, but don't dress well for a 5-star. Somewhere in the middle where the time's hard, like a precious metal, I'm a shining star. Boy, this is not for the faint of heart. That's on me from the very start. Let's get it clear for 100 years. Bet you couldn't stop me, call me Jonah Ark. Boy, I'm on now, couldn't calm down. I was lost once, look what I found. It was inside, I was outside, trying to design the whole fucking house. I was locked out, finally got out. Tore the roof off, burn the rest down. Can't rest now, best out. Gotta rewrite it now, it's fleshed out. Can't stop, man, I've been running like I couldn't walk. Man, I've been swimming like I couldn't fly. Seas I've been tripping, but I never drop. This is how it feels living on the top. Know how it feels slipping on the cot. Know how it feels running from the cops. Rewrote my story with a different vibe. Make no excuses, give me what you got. Falling fast, don't leave me like I said so. I've been high this week, but I've been damn low. Pick me off my feet just like a Dow Zone. Cried enough to sleep, now my friends gone. So damn sick of the same old love song. So damn sick of the same old trust songs. I came back to change, I've been so wrong. I've been stuck in my ways, so can we bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on back, 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 back. Bring it on.
That's the whole song. There's like a skit at the end, but that's one of my favorites for sure. Production by Ice Bath Beats, my homie from Washington. Incredible production. Yeah, one of my favorite tracks for sure.
It's got a good beat, man.
Yeah, for oh, dude, incredible, incredible. I've been working with him for past few years, and we just been making incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
So, ever had a show that you were like everything went wrong, you were running late, um, then you were like, man, I can't do nothing right, and then somehow turned out amazing.
Indeed, there's so many shows like that where, um, yeah, like you said, you think everything's going wrong, or like, especially I've thrown a lot of shows, so I've in North Dakota, when we were getting started, people weren't putting us on shows, so we threw our own. So there's that added pressure of kind of orchestrating, getting all these artists on these shows, and making sure everybody's on time. And sometimes people, can't make it, and you got to fill time, and there's not a million people there right when doors open, so you feel like nobody's gonna come, and you're like, man, I don't know, you're so much pressure on you to have a good show, and then at the end of the night, you're like, wow, that was one of the best shows I've ever had. Um, Again, own worst enemy, get in our own heads, we're our own worst critics. Sometimes when you break through that initial wall of self-doubt, you can really let yourself open to having a great experience and a great time, because there's plenty of shows like that too, where just because something didn't live up to your expectations, you didn't quite enjoy it as much, when it could have been the night of your life if you had just gotten out of your own way.
Yeah,
For
hell
sure.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. That's I mean, I've had those several times running
Yeah.
late, like trying to put stuff together, and ends up being an awesome night, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great that it turned around. You know, um, so North Dakota winters are Midwest summers. Which one's the worst to tour in?
It's man, it's definitely winter, cuz I mean, you can't tour if you can't even go anywhere, cuz there's crazy blizzards, and yeah, driving in the winters is crazy. It feels like the Midwest summers is everyone goes other places. You're vacationing to better places than the Midwest. So sometimes you have trouble, especially in my hometown. A lot of the college kids go away and all that. So I would still take that any day over trying to drive in a blizzard with, you know, 50-mile-an-hour winds. Take that any day.
That is wild.
I've had to cancel plenty of shows because of that. Plenty of them. That's why, like, I try to avoid booking anything in December or January, because it's just so, you never know. You never know. We are one of the most bipolar weather places of all time. We can have, it could snow and blizzard one day, and then it's you a 50-degree difference. Like earlier this year, right at the end of our winter into our, want to call it spring. It's not very long, but there was a few times where it was like that, where it snowed and then it all melted, and then it was 60 degrees, and then it goes back to snow, and you never know. You really can't trying to book or
Wow.
keep track of that kind of stuff up here. It's a guessing games
I,
sometimes.
I could about imagine, man, just open my front door and a wall of snow. Like,
It
like
seriously can get like that. You could really open your door and it's drifted so much that you can't even go outside your door.
me being from Louisiana, I'd probably want to play in it for a little while, but it'd get old quick.
For sure, for sure, for sure. It's fun, when you're a kid going sledding and doing all that. When you're an adult, it's just like a nuisance, I think.
So, do you believe everything happens for a reason?
I think so. I do think destiny but I also think that you control your destiny in some aspects of your life. I truly do believe in the law of attraction, manifesting things. It might not always happen exactly how you want it. Life has a funny way of happening itself, but I feel like you can put yourself in the best position for these things to happen. And even if it doesn't, you should prepare yourself for the moment, because you never know when it'll come, but if it's destiny, you'll be ready for it. You got to be able to seize that moment.
for sure. I got one for you that's a little. It's a hard. Well, being an artist that you are,
Right.
if music suddenly disappeared, what would be your next move?
I love writing, so I love sports, so I'd always want to be like a beat reporter, or, writing for a journalist for whether it's sports or anything really. I think just working for a newspaper and writing stories about other people and kind of learning and um, that kind of stuff would definitely be what I wanted to do. I know that when I went to college right after high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to do music, but I didn't know what else I wanted to do. And I think journalism was something that really intrigued me because I already love writing and I love writing about other people and experiences and really cool stories, whether it's sports or not. So I think journalism would be something I'd go into that I think my skills would allow me to kind of transition into.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
I mean, being that you write your own music, I mean, most definitely journalism. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool too, though.
Yeah, I'm not very good at spell checking. My wife knows I'm notorious for not double checking like my posts on Facebook, and she'll like text me like, "Oh, you messed that word up." I'm like, "Damn it!" So I definitely would have to get better at that if I wanted to be writing in newspapers or magazines or whatever.
Yeah, then, well, that's when your manager steps in. Your wife.
Exactly. See, she's got to do her job better. That's all I'm saying. This is on her.
Well, man, I mean, we had an interesting night,
I think so
um,
too.
and I definitely, I, I look forward to seeing you come to Louisiana, or even if you come to the closer state to me,
Yep.
and I find out, I'm gonna try to make my way up there.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna try to make the drive short as possible.
but yeah, well, if you do make it to Louisiana, I'll make sure you're fed for sure.
All right, cool, cool.
But do you wanna play one last one before we head on out?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Let's see here. What's a good one? How do we end this out here? Hmm, 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 hmm. How do we end a good one out here?
Before before we get off, tell me a little about Luckier.
Yeah. So Nicholas Moore, he commented, my buddy Rooch, that was his song. So it started out as a song that he had called Lucky, and we kind of did a remix to it and called it Luckier, and he got me on it, and we always make incredible music together. We've made a few different tracks, and that one just really popped off. People loved it, and it's by far my most streamed song. So I mean, I feel like this is a good segue into playing that one. I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this. It's a really
Uh,
good song. I
uh,
loved being able to kind of take
dude,
his idea.
I've listened to
Yeah.
this thing like 3 or 4 times, and like
You're like
just
you're like this is the one we're gonna listen to.
nah. I mean, if you want to
It
play
was an
something
alley
else,
oop. No, no, no. That
we
was a
will.
perfect alley oop. That was like D Wade to LeBron James. I'm coming down to boom, slam it down. So we might as well play Luckier. We might as well.
All right.
And hopefully this gets him to we got a couple other in the vault that we haven't released yet. He's kind of stacking up his music because he's been, you know, going to school and getting married and all that stuff. So he's kind of had a lot on his plate. So I'm trying to get him out of retirement, as they say, so we can drop another one.
I'll be looking for it, man.
All right, cool. I'll let him know.
All right, Luckier. Here we go.
I flip the script and open up a letter full of love. I've been awfully honest, cause I want this, gotta cough it up. Medicine is feminine, I'm aiming for your touch. Got me feeling, catch me leaning, throw the piece up for the cause. You the lottery, baby. I've been honorable lately. I've been on one cause I want you and it's driving me crazy. Pop the genie out the bottle just to talk to you, lady. I'm the babe with the bat, how I'm calling you, baby. You my goldfish, you my shamrock. You my heads up, penny on the sidewalk, walking it out. There's a burning low, no stomping it out. If the timer feels off, I'll be waiting it out. Cause I got time lately, want you all mine, baby. If I can, don't want no one else. Got my mind all crazy, got these thoughts all racing. Swear I want you all to myself. You say I'm lucky, well I disagree. I like your fingertips on nothing but all over me. I think about it when I'm driving 103. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. So when the night comes and I miss the sun, I grip my heart till all the peace fills into my lungs. I need a reason that I'm fine and I'm finally enough. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. You got me out here really questioning. Are we going insane, heading into one direction and trying to invest a bit? But you want less of this. It's hard to stay on top, lying to the left of it. Oh, what's left of it. We hardly know, we sprout some hope and then we try to grow. You live and learn, we live and burn, ashes from the smoke. We rising up like a phoenix from this bed of coal. It's a disaster, but I'm always feeling lucky though. You say I'm lucky, well I disagree. I like your fingertips on nothing but all over me. I think about it when I'm driving 103. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. So when the night comes and I miss the sun, I grip my heart till all the peace fills into my lungs. I need a reason that I'm fine and I'm finally enough. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. So when the night comes, no sun. See when the right one won't come. We run in circles, no fun. Chasing a purpose with no love. You say I'm lucky, well I disagree. I like your fingertips on nothing but all over me. I think about it when I'm driving 103. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind. So when the night comes and I miss the sun, I grip my heart till all the peace fills into my lungs. I need a reason that I'm fine and I'm finally enough. I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm losing my mind.
Such a good one.
Heck yeah, man. That was
Really?
awesome.
He really, I really appreciate him allowing me to put my own spin on one of his already great tracks. So shout out Rooch.
Well, man, it was a great night, dude. Love the podcast, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime.
Oh, I'll be
Or,
back.
hey, if you just want to shoot the shit with the boys, you just hit me up anytime, man. You're not busy.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
get the boys together, and we could just, BS one night.
I would love that. I would love that.
So, no big. We keep it casual,
For
and
sure.
we try not to. We got some that like to slip a little political stuff, but we try to keep it out of there because you know how that ends.
Right, right. For
So,
sure. For sure.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed it, and I appreciate you coming and accepting my invite, man. And I enjoy your music, and I look forward to all your future music.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to get on here and be able to tell my story and chat with you and chop it up. And I will definitely take you up on that invite for sure.
All right, man. Thank y'all viewers for watching and staying tuned to BSing with Y Eagle Y. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. All right.